Hello everyone, I'm RedSunder and welcome to our Let's Play series of Pillars of Eternity. I had a conversation with a friend last weekend. He told me so many good things about PoE that I decided to give it a shot. I have no experience in this genre, which makes me even more excited to try it out. My native language is not English, words will be mispronounced and I try my best to keep it as low as possible. With all that said, let's explore the world of Eora together. As a first-time RPG player, I choose for the sake of a smooth game and story experience to play on normal difficulty. My character, called Red from now on, is a human barbarian from the Meadow folk. He is a mercenary from the large continent in the western parts of Eora, home to the Aedir Empire. Red is not a man of kind words. He is known for raw aggression and being reckless on the battlefield.
Five wagons grope blindly for the path on a starless night, their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern his only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan carries travelers bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start. You have taken suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight.
The caravan master finishes addressing the group, his bushy red mustache and sagging jaws quivering as for emphasis.
Everybody stays close to the wagons, got it? Stay out of the woods, and beasts take you if you are planning a stroll through those ruins up there.
He nods toward the looming black mass on the hillside.
Whole area's crawling with hut-dwelling types who'd be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks. Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Vale's less than a day out. Understood?
At last, the caravan master turns to you, frowning as he looks you over.
Touch of the rumbling rot, could be. There's a stinging beetle round here, carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards, unless you don't drink water, course, which case you'll be dead in a day. There's a berry grows in these parts, small and pink, called a springberry. About the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. You might check around, see if you can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water. I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker, but see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here.
He nods in your direction. Sparful nods and slides the worn bow over his shoulder. Where will they find these berries?
They grow on a bush that's common round here, kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Doubt you'd have to go far off the road to find one.
What are those ruins?
Nothing you won't see on half the hills of Air Glonfoth. Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay, if you don't mind getting stuck with Glonfoth and arrows now and again. They didn't build them, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch them like a mother bear. Of course, all the ones around here have been ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pawn, so I hear.
Who did build the ruins?
Got different names for them. Settlers called them Ingwithans. Nobody that liked them enough to stop them becoming ruins, tell you that much.
Is it dangerous out there?
Not if you hurry about your business, and not if the weather holds up.
There is concern in his tone, but he does not elaborate. What kind of weather do they get out here?
This time of year, Rain mostly, and wind. But there's a different kind of wind out here time to time. Locals call it a beawick, born out of the ether, the spirit's path. Never seen it myself, never care to.
What are these huge rocks coming up out of the ground?
They don't got Audra where you come from? Well, it just grows up out of the ground like this. Goes deep like tree roots. Some of it all the way to the heart of the world, you believe the stories. It's more like a shell than a proper rock. Easier to work if you're a mason. Got all kinds of strange properties. Seems to have some kind of life of its own. Dies if it gets dug up. Loses its luster. Folks think it probably grew at one point or another, but not these days. The soul butchers in Defiance Bay use it for different things. I've heard tell it can hold a man's soul, but I don't care to see it. Got enough to worry about without seeing something like that.
I will go and see about those berries then.
Hold on. Take someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot, not like most of this lot. But you drop dead, I don't want to be looking for the body. Got a schedule to keep.
He scans over the travelers, resting his eyes at length on a sturdy, armor-clad woman who has spent the journey's nights sleeping on uneven ground without blanket or pillow.
Kalisha. Kalisha!
The woman looks up on her own time.
He needs to find some spring berries. Watch that he doesn't drop dead.
No promises.
What kind of guide says something like that?
Kind you can afford.
Don't listen to her. You're in good hands. And I pay too well, if anything. Off with you. Hayden should have supplies. See that you're equipped before you head out. We're in harsh country. Get your berries and hurry back. And if you get so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. If it's a beawick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned.
You heard the man. Let's get going before you keel over.
Sure.
What you need?
Sure.
These tall, glass-green pillars appear as if they have sprouted from the earth. The flickering fire sets shadows dancing within.
Anyone need supplies? I've got sundries for sale.
You see a man wearing simple but mostly neat clothes. He's transfixed, however, by a ragged tear in the seam of his tunic.
Brought a whole wagon full of goods to sell, but not enough shirts for the road.
He scratches one cheek with his knuckles. It's covered with uneven stubble, as if he hasn't quite gotten used to shaving on the road.
Say, is there anything you need? I've got some basic traveling supplies for sale if you'd like to take a look.
Who are you?
I'm a trader, originally from the Adir Empire, but I've been trying to establish new business out here. Life on the road has brought some unexpected challenges, to be sure. And I'm sure you've noticed how prickly the locals can be. But we're here to make the most of things, right?
We might as well try. My thoughts, exactly.
Something else you need? Looks like we're settled for the night.
Tell me about the Adir Empire.
It's not as big as it used to be, but it's still big. The mainland is a continent northwest of here, but the colonies used to include RedSundrYT and the Deerwood. About 150 years ago, Deerwood won its independence from the Empire, a fact our companions are quick to remind me of.
He gives you a lopsided grin and nods at the other scattered caravanners. Why would you move all the way out here?
Because it seemed friendlier than RedSundrYT? My brothers took over the family mercantile business a few years ago, and there wasn't enough for me to do back home. I moved out to try and expand.
He shrugs. Deerwood is a former Adir colony, so it seemed like a good place to start. And as much as I admire the Riyadh work ethic, they have always struck me as a little fanatic. Sounds reasonable enough. Out here, I'm just taking it one day at a time.
I'll have your water soon enough. Stream's not going anywhere.
Travelers, maybe. Or looters. Or bandits. Bad sign anyway, you figure it. The corpse is cold to the touch and a ripe smell wafts from it in putrid waves. A dark, rusted bloodstain besmirches its simple linen clothing.
This is recent. Not good.
The footprints around the campfire are indistinct. It may have been here for days or longer.
Let's check by those outcroppings.
Let's... Let's go!
This is it.
You look like you have seen your share of action. What did you do before you came out here? I was a blade for hire. Yeah? How is it you happened to come here? Let's just say, I don't have the most sparkling of reputations at home. Here, I am anonymous. Well, we have all got things we would like to leave behind. Gods know I do. I will tell you that. Here is hoping they never track us down. Kalisa breaths in your surroundings. Been a long time since I have been this way, but I always did like it. Lord Riadic's offer makes a girl think. I will give him that. You here to settle, like the rest of the lot? I hadn't given it much thought. No harm in that. Might as well see the place first. I have no idea what I'm going to do next. Completely spontaneous, huh? Interesting. Well, there is probably no hurry to make up your mind. They have got an inn in Gilded Vale that will put you up as long as you need. Or so my sister tells me. Anyway, I'm wasting time here. Odema will give me an earful. Let's be on our way back. Why are you here? Alicia sighs unevenly. Her eyes search the ground at her feet. My sister moved out here, sometimes back. She sent me a letter. She seemed worried. But that's how she always is. This time, though, she asked me to come out. And that's got me a little worried. I haven't seen her in ages. Been doing guide work in Ixamitl. But I would do anything for her. She is much better woman than me. So I'm here and we will see. Odema, I have worked with before. Doesn't usually drive a road this way, but he's doing it for me. Tell me about yourself. I've got simple needs. I like open skies and far horizons. I find work that lets me live that way. My family wanders too. We started in Dyewood, but my parents ended up in the Living Lands. I've got a brother in Rowatai and another in Adir. My sister in Gilded Whale. She's the only real homebody. What can you tell me about Dyewood? I am not much for history, but from what I know, it used to be part of the Adir Empire. Broke off after a war some years back. The locals here are feisty and that's how they like it. I have been out of touch, but I have been hearing weird kinds of things about it lately. People having trouble giving birth, I guess. A lot of them. Been going on for years now. But somehow, it's getting worse. With an uneasy tremor in her voice, she adds, I will have to ask my sister more about it. Alright, let's get back to the camp. You know, I wouldn't hold my breath that Sparfle's getting you water anytime soon. He does what he feels like, when he feels like it. We should check up on him first, slap him around a little. Stream's just down that way. Come on, let's get you your water.
What a surprise. Sparfle went hunting. At least he left the water skins.
You crouch at the riverbank and dip your water skin into the cool water while Kalisha waits nearby, keeping watch. As you rise, you notice her look up sharply towards the tree line. Out of the trees emerges Sparfle, one of the guides, barely discernible in the dim moonlight. He no longer carries his bow, and there is a strangeness to his gait. His stride wobbly as he moves towards you with labored breath.
Sparfle? Are you alright?
Sparfle's toe catches on a rock, and he collapses forward in a heap. The feathered shaft of an arrow planted between his shoulders like an enemy flag.
Ambush! Hmm?
Sure.
Come on, we have to get back to camp.
Sure.
What you need?
Mm-hmm.
What you need?
All around you lie the massacred remains of other travelers, peppered with arrows and knife hilts, splayed and bug-eyed and filthy. Felicia puts the back of her left hand to her mouth as if to ward away some poisonous vapor. A handful of dark figures stands above the fallen, feeding on limbs and backs and heads, jerking their axes from bodies as if from half-split logs. One of them, cowering and severe with a thick beard tasseled with knots, holds a wet blade at the neck of the man you recognize as Hyoden, the last of your caravan left standing. Lay down your arms, trespasser. Do not forfeit this man's life for a fight you will lose. Murderers, you will pay for each life. Death, willed by the gods, is not murdered by righteousness. You have trespassed in places of which no mortal man is worthy. The debt is not ours to pay, but yours. So I say again, lay down your arms. Don't trust them. They mean to kill us all. Only a fool attacks a weak enemy while a stronger one yet lives. The man considers this, looking you up and down. Yet? He shoves Theoden towards you. As he does so, the man rakes his blade against Theoden's torso. Theoden screams and stumbles forward, the white gash in his clothing beginning to bloom crimson. The man sets his feet to engage you, his axe raised high. Your enemy lies supine on the ground, unable to rise, his companions now silent among the other dead. His breath comes in wheezing, fitful gasps. He looks not at you, but at the sky above you. Forgive us. Barely audible beneath his choked seas, a whisper of wind steers the air. At this, the man's eye rolls back as he closes them. Good. Good. The gods are just. A queer smile crosses his face. I am ready. The wind begins to swell, whipping around camp, electric and volatile, upending pots and rattling tents like an angry spirit. You can feel it begin to seep beneath your skin, and where it pierces you it feels as though it is rending you apart from within. Seating against the wagon wheel, amidst the howling maelstrom, slashed across chest and bowl, Odema's body steers, and with great effort he raises his sagging head, his eyes barely open. He looks directly at you.
Get inside! Run!
Straining against the gale that threatens to pull you off of your feet with every step, you set your hands in the worn folds of weathered rock and set about pulling yourself up the precipice. With a last burst of energy before your arms give out, you swing yourself up onto the ledge. Theoden trails behind, slowed by injury and delayed by early hesitation. As he nears the face of the rock, one of the fallen attackers, who had been feigning death, lunges for Heodan and topples him onto the rocky ground. Restrained, Heodan lashes out against his fatigued assailant, but struggles to break his hold. They are close to you. Despite the wind, from your position, if you were to throw your weapon at the attacker, you would have a good chance at hitting your mark. You throw your weapon, your aim is true, and the hit jars Heodan's loose. Lurching to his feet, Heodan clambers up the base of the rocks. As he nears the top, however, the wind flares, pulling him sideways and tearing one of his hands free. But diving out onto the hard rock, you manage to catch hold of it. Securing his other hand, you pull with waning strength, and it feels as though your arms will be jerked from their sockets. They hold just long enough for Heodan to set his feet and join you on the trembling ledge. There is a deep resonance to the swelling wind now. You feel it in the rocks beneath your feet and inside the cavity of your own chest, as though it would shake the marrow from your bones. Each new gust menaces the old stones before you, loosening connections, unsettling balances. As you dart beneath the old archway, the entire portal begins to fall beneath its own weight.
Was that?
A Bewick. Had to be.
Then we're lucky to be alive.
And we're the only ones.
We can't stay here. There could be another collapse. We're not getting out that way anyway. Let's get further inside. Can you walk?
Heodan's jaws tightens. He nods. Thank you for watching, and as always, see you all in the next one.